Oh! Daggerspell Mage from Complete Adventurer D&D Trace Cinco. This is a lore-heavy prestige that was created to give players a reason to use daggers. Because why be a rogue with a dagger when a short sword does more damage?
Because daggers are easier to hide and your damage comes from sneak attack.
Flank like a Chad and don't fight undead. But yeah, this prestige is a pair with Daggerspell Shaper, which we will be covering in the next video. These prestiges are part of a secret organization that live and train in hidden away monasteries deep in ancient forests. They practice to perfect the ancient arts of casting arcane spells with daggers, or by being an animal with enchanted daggers for claws. You know, like a bunch of cultist loonies that are too stubborn to play a Duskblade. But we'll talk about them later. This prestige requires some specific class abilities, skills, and feats to go into. You must have at least plus 1d6 sneak attack and be a 5th level arcane caster. What this means is you'll need at least 5 levels in sorcerer, wizard, bard, war mage, etc. You also need the feats weapon focused dagger and 2 weapon fighting. Then 8 ranks in concentration, and you can't be evil. We may be sneaky dagger lovers, but that doesn't mean we're murderers. This prestige has a d6 for health, 6+ intelligence for skills, and you get no new armor or weapon proficiencies. It's a 10 level prestige with a 3/4 base attack, a bad fortitude, good reflex and will. Finally, some differences in base attack and saves. You progress your Arcane Spellcasting class from level 2 through 10. You skip out on level 1 from gaining progress, but that's not a big deal. This affects your spells known and spells per day. If you have 2 different Arcane Spellcaster classes before going into this prestige, for some reason, then you choose which class gains this progression each time you gain a level. They can't both progress, because this prestige class isn't Mystic Thurge.
Spoilers for when we do the Dungeon Master's Guide.
At level 1, you gain the ability Dagger Cast. This allows you to cast spells while, well, holding daggers. In both hands even. You can also deliver touch attack spells with a normal attack made from daggers. But you can't throw your dagger to cast these spells. So no cheesing out or range shocking grasp with this ability. But you still provoke AOs, attacks of opportunity, when casting spells this way though. Level 2 brings us Invocation of the Knife. If you cast an arcane spell that deals energy damage, you can change half of that damage into slashing damage. This will help you take down an opponent with energy resistances. But the slashing damage can be lowered with damage reduction. Using this ability requires only a declaration and can only be used with spells that last instantly. Enjoy recreating Inuyasha's Wind Scar attack by casting Shout and using a Gargantuan Dagger. Yes, a Gargantuan Dagger is the same as a Greatsword. Yes, I know that Inuyasha uses a Yokai Sword, which is basically a falchion. At level 3, 6, and 9,
Dang she fine!
your sneak attack increases by plus 1d6. At level 4, you get
Nothing! Good day, sir!
But at level 5, you acquire the ability Double Dagger Cast. This allows you to store 1 touch spell in each of your daggers, but the spell will only stay stored while the daggers are in your hands. If you put the daggers away or throw them, the spell harmlessly fades. But this allows you to ready yourself before a battle, or be sneaky, since you won't be shouting a spell's verbal components right behind your enemy. You get Arcane Infusion at level 7. This ability is meh. As a swift action, you can use a spell per day of any level to empower your daggers with either fire, electric, or cold energy. This makes your daggers deal an extra plus 1d6 of the chosen element, but it can't stack with multiple uses, or if you try to apply a different element, it just replaces it. It also fades after the weapon is thrown, but lasts for a number of rounds equal to your dagger spell level if not thrown. Cool idea, but by this level, you definitely have a decked out enhanced dagger. I mean, sure, if you have a fire dagger and you're fighting something immune to fire, you could make it cold damage. But, meh, at level 8, you can finally cheese that shocking grasp into a ranged attack with Arcane Throw. If you charge a touch attack spell into one of your daggers, you can throw it and still retain the stored spell. The book says you attack as if making a melee attack, but that seems weird to me, as more than likely a rogue going into this prestige. You're probably using the feat Weapon Finesse, which allows you to attack using your dexterity with light weapons. So why make this attack count as a melee attack? I don't know. But here we are. If your dagger hits, it delivers the touch attack. If you miss, the dagger will return to your hand just before your next turn, just like Mjolnir, and retain the stored spell. Pretty sweet, but I'd suggest getting the returning enchantment on your daggers for when you do hit or carry a bunch of daggers. Finally, at level 10, we have Daggerspell Flurry. This ability allows you to quicken a spell while doing a full attack action. This doesn't affect the spell's level like a meta magic feat would. This ability is amazing because normally, to make a full attack action, it takes you a full round. With this ability, you could store a shocking grasp in one of your daggers, then move in close to your opponent. On your next turn, you could then unleash your full attack, swinging like Kermit on Coca-Cola, letting off that shocking grasp, then unleash a finger of death to finish the job. Just an example. Oh, yeah, you can use this ability a number of times per day equal to your dexterity mod. That is the Daggerspell Mage in all of its dagger cult-loving glory. Now let's take a look at the one that I made with the stats that I rolled from the last video. This is Harry Badger, the Satyr. He is a bard, rogue, Daggerspell Mage. I honestly made this character in mind to kind of be a joke character because I was going to make him be a bard. But then I rolled those stats and he turned out to not be terrible. Decent health, decent AC because of enchanted items. He is chaotic neutral, worships Orion. Orion is one of my personal gods. He's sort of like Saint Cuthbert, but he's true neutral. The books don't say how old satyrs are, at least not what I could find, so I aged them based off elves, because elves, fae, made sense to me. So 136, not very tall, not very heavy. Once I get more into his items, you're going to probably realize that for a level 12 character, effective level 14, you'd think he'd have more items. Well, his twin sister, who's going to be in the next video, basically took 2/3 of his money gambling because I wanted her to be able to afford some specific items. But we'll get into that later. Just has 2 +1 daggers and no armor because he's wearing specific pants of armor, a wondrous item. So his skills, nothing fancy. You might see that he has craft taxidermy. That's because I wanted him to not have to pay for his drums, which are made from blood ape skulls. He plays the drums. He, as a satyr, also plays the pipes, but he prefers to play his drums, just walking around with them on his hip, just like the movie Drum line. Feats, extremely simple, and then skill focus perform. So skill focus perform. So for the longest time, I thought bards sucked, and to be honest, I still think they do. At least in 3.5, I think they suck. But they have this ability with bardic music called Countersong. It's been years since I've looked into Bard, so I kind of forgot about it, nor did I really care. It's only one thing, and, you know, Fascinate is okay, Inspire Courage, woo. But Countersong is actually just kind of cool in the fact that you can just use it by dropping a riff on your lute, smacking those drums really hard, to literally counter any spell based on sound. That's really cool. I mean, it's not any spell based on sound. Just because something has verbal components doesn't mean you can counter it. Say someone is under a command spell. That is them being verbally commanded what to do after the spell is cast. You could use Countersong. I think that's cool. His inventory, nothing special. He has 2 elixirs of fire breath, just in case he's really in a pinch, because spell-wise, he really has no damaging spells. He has Whirling Blade, but that's it. He is not a fighter. Harry just wheels and deals, but not very well. And he is a support character. He supports his twin sister. But Harry is yours to use. And then you'll get to see his twin sister in the next video. And she is a lot better than Harry. I will tell you that. So, look forward to the next one. Comment, like, subscribe. Tell me what you liked about the video. Tell me what you hated. Doesn't matter. Won't hurt my feelings. It might hurt my feelings. You stay classy, Dice Demons.